Hello everybody, in this video I want to talk about the PlayStation 5 controller major design flaw. So this is my DualSense PlayStation 5 controller. It's just covered with a silicone cover, by the way, just personal preference. Of course it doesn't come with that. But what's the problem with this controller? Well, the main problem with the PlayStation 5 controller is the symmetrical thumbstick layout that far from feeling natural. You can see that if I want to touch the left stick, which is the one that you mainly use in many games, you can see that it's actually not natural. I need to actually disorient my thumb in order to do it. Whether with a Pro controller, the Nintendo Switch Pro controller, it's actually perfectly in the right position. So if I want to do it with the PlayStation 5, let alone that actually moving also the stick also can, after some time, can cause some, this discomfort or even pain for some players who actually played many hours. So you might ask yourself, why Sony actually designed such a bad controller? Why? Why the design is so flawed? I mean, I can look maybe on the distribution of video gamers, let's say in the United States for 2021 by age group, and see whether maybe more players actually playing and they're, I don't know, 6 years old. But even then, the controller is pretty big, so it doesn't even make sense. And just if you want to know about statistics, let's put it here. So if a controller was designed for the younger audience, it's definitely going to be smaller than that. The other thing you can do is just take a look and see what the other manufacturers are doing, whether they follow the same button layout pattern as the PlayStation controller. First of all, the Pro controller of the Nintendo Switch, you can see that, of course, it's different. This is the optimal layout, in my opinion. We have, of course, the Xbox controller. As you can see here, again, left thumbstick, you see how close it is to the left side? Like the perfect position, and the right stick is at the bottom. But again, left stick is the main thing. So again, left side. Now let's take a look at the GameCube, which was initially released on September 2001, right? Like 21 years ago. Look at the controller. Left side, the stick is on the left side. Here is the Nintendo Switch Joy-Con comfort grip. Again, take a look, left side. And of course, even the Joy-Cons themselves, you can actually detach it and attach it to the Nintendo Switch console. It's still, again, the same layout, of course. Even the older Xbox controller, still again, same layout. Now you can actually hold the controller a bit downwards on the left side, so you can actually have better position. But again, you lose part of the left side ergonomics because it's not going to be comfortable to hold the controller because the way the left side is actually designed to really fit comfortably to the palm of your hand. Not that comfortably, by the way, but still much better than holding it at the bottom position. This design actually reminds me some of the problems that I have playing on mobile phones, where the controllers preferably are at the bottom areas and my thumbs need to go in that area and I need to move it. It's very uncomfortable. Personally, I prefer having it at the top, not at the bottom. Again, many games use this type of layout and I found them to be very uncomfortable. But it's important to note that some players, of course, will find the symmetrical sticks to work well for their hands. Some mention maybe it's because of the target market and demographics. Others mention maybe just a natural continuum of the original PlayStation controller. And in 2017, we have this officially licensed controller. Look at this, so tiny. And of course, this was designed for smaller hands. Well, and if you look carefully, actually you don't need to look carefully, it's very visible here. You can see that the same layout with the symmetrical thumbstick at the bottom. Even with such a controller where it was designed to hold at the sides for smaller hands. Another thing to consider that, of course, in the past, there weren't 3D games, right? So most players just played 2D games. Still, of course, there were many 2D games that use joysticks where they actually allow for movement in different directions. So it's not like we didn't have that. For example, when I had the Atari 2600, I used this joystick, right? This is from 1977. So what do you think Sony insisting on maintaining this specific layout in each controller rather than going, well, what seems like most of the industry actually going for? This is again a different and unique layout to a Sony controller. Not just to Sony, of course, PlayStation controller, but well, most of the controllers doesn't follow this layout. And do you find this layout to be comfortable, or you are like me, like you're kind of scratching your head? What the heck Sony was thinking when they designed it? This is a generic PlayStation 3 controller. Look at this, the design. Different. And if you browse through Amazon, you're going to find plenty of controllers that follow the same design. Now, of course, if you browse Amazon, for example, Amazon.com, you're going to see different controllers, but you see the majority of them follow the Xbox button layout. But of course, you can always find others that are similar to the PlayStation, and some of them actually follow the more nostalgic retro look that some players really, really like. Sometimes, of course, some gamers prefer the retro look. It reminds me of the way they used to play games. They actually prefer buying modern controllers that kind of are similar to the older layout. And you need to also understand that some gamers have muscle memory and want to continue using controller that they've used for many years before. To just get used to it. So it's kind of now I need to get to a different controller, so they kind of get used custom to the design of the PlayStation or similar controller. It doesn't have to be, of course, PlayStation controller, so they just continue using it. I remember seeing a video of Zero, which is a professional Super Smash Brothers player, and he is using the classic GameCube controller. Now, though this layout a bit similar, of course, to the Xbox in a way with the left thumbstick at the top, some players just continue using them, although it's not really the most comfortable controller in terms of ergonomics, but he continued using it because he just, well, got accustomed to it. He just, that's the way he played in so many tournaments and practice everything, so that's why he actually didn't change it. He just, this is the controller of his choice before he just played with it a lot and got used to it. And the same, by the way, goes with the PlayStation. There are many players who just get used to it. So many years playing on the PlayStation, so they don't feel like changing. Maybe the hands actually got kind of accustomed to it in a way, I mean, physically. But for me, I played on the PlayStation 4 for a lot of time. I was a PlayStation 4 player before I actually switched to playing more on PC. And I can tell you that although I found it to be okay, definitely I find the Switch controller and the Xbox controller to be much more comfortable. And there were many times that I did suffer for some of discomfort when playing for a long time on the PlayStation controller. Even now, after I stopped and I play on the PC and got back to play on the PlayStation, I just felt that, well, this is uncomfortable. But this is because I have a big gap between playing with a mouse and keyboard and then playing with the PlayStation controller. But still, I think that I never really felt that it was super comfortable. Always a feeling that it's not for me. And when I played on the Xbox with the Xbox controller, at some point, I felt that it was much more comfortable. So this is my opinion about the PlayStation DualSense controller. And I want to hear your opinion from your mouth. What do you think about the PlayStation controller, if you use one, compared to other controller designs? What do you think, like me? Just really not a good design. Some may say even terrible, or you find it comfortable enough, or you just get used to it, so don't feel like changing anything if you had a chance to do so. Let me know in the comment section below what you think, and again, thanks for watching. Also, consider subscribing to my channel, and this one, just a little like. I'll see you on the next one. Thanks for watching. Cheers.